memories of Mark Callis when he was in Memphis?
Man, you know what? He used to ride with me, and this is the funniest thing. When I did the pay-per-view for Vince, it was 95?
Around 96?
96,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, they told me everybody, I guess, has got their own assigned dressing quarters or something, right? In which everybody always knocks Shawn Michaels and Triple H and everything, I guess, because they think they get their way. But, man, when I went to that thing, they was the two coolest dudes to me, and which Shawn was always cool to me when he come through Memphis. But I hadn't been around Hunter none until up there, and they was the two coolest dudes to me out of that whole locker room. And I carried Mark around. Mark rode with me, the Undertaker, when he was in Memphis, and we hung out together. And we made trips 4 days a week together, and we'd ride in my car because he didn't have enough money to put tires on his car. And then when I went up there, you know who I was assigned to be in the dressing room with?
And?
Undertaker, Bret Hart, and myself, which they was in the main event, so maybe they thought I shouldn't be in there. But now here's a guy that was in Memphis that didn't have enough money to put tires on his car, that was driving around in an Escort with bald tires, that rode with me every night. And then I went up there, and when I walked in, they said, which this might not have been real good either, I was supposed to fly a day early, you know, for the pay-per-views. Well, I changed my flight to the day of the pay-per-view. I wrestled in Nashville that night. I didn't fly up there. I went Sunday, got there right before the pay-per-view, and I walked in the room, and I said, "Hey, Big Mark, how you doing, man?" I hadn't seen him since he left Memphis, right? So I figured he'd be nice and cool and stuff. He said, "Hey." I thought, hey, here's a guy that didn't have money to put tires on his car, that I carried everywhere and didn't charge him nothing. And then he's going to be just so whatever, how many ever $1 million he's made or whatever, so what?
Right.
But see, it's like you said, it's all about what have you done for me lately, I guess, because he sure didn't remember that he didn't have enough money to get to the towns without me.
Wow.
But I mean, ain't that strange?
Yeah, totally. That's Did he lighten up to you at all, or was that pretty much it?
Oh, well, right here we was sitting there and we was getting dressed, in which I went up and introduced myself to Bret Hart because I'd never been around Bret Hart. I said, "How you doing, Doug Gilbert?" And he said, "Hey," and I said, "You been doing okay, Mark?" And he said, "Yeah." I thought, man, fuck you. And
how did you get that gig anyway to go out and work at the Royal Rumble?
What they wanted was, actually, to be honest, it might have been a deal because they wanted just something to be a little different at the time.
Right.
But I would probably think they could have been a little short of talent. But what they was wanting was, it was going to be Buddy Landell from Smoky Mountain, myself from USWA, and there was one or two other organizations that there was going to have different, which they just wanted to throw in, I think, a little blend of something that wasn't like their stuff, or like maybe somebody else, the thought of maybe somebody else could actually win it that wasn't from there.
Right.
And everything. But it wound up being a good deal. But Lawler is one that hooked the deal up for me to do it.
Let's talk about The Undertaker.